Sunday Brunch with Jamie and Rebecca West. Meet the family. Embrace the dysfunction on AM 900 CHML.
You're with Sunday Brunch on AM 900 CHML. Jamie and Rebecca West here, and glad to have you along, and hope you're having a great Sunday morning so far with yourself or with your friends or with your significant other.
And thanks for joining us.
And thanks for joining us. Yeah, and don't have too good a time with yourself. You'll go blind.
Oh, okay.
Jerry?
Okay.
Speaking of blind, here's Jerry. Mungo, how are you?
I'm just so going to leave that alone. I'm
Please
just going to walk away.
I've moved on from that.
All right. Gary Dierenfeld is with us. He's
I don't know if I want to be after all of that. Do it yourself.
Too bad you're already here and you're locked in. Your phone line is locked in. He's our resident social worker. He's your social worker. Good Sunday morning.
We're not talking about sex ed today.
No, we're not.
No, but we should do that soon.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
I might be away that day. But I'm stressed.
Why?
There's 2 weeks to back to school. Do you guys realize that?
Yeah,
I do. How old are your kids again?
4 and 8. So we have the youngest entering junior kindergarten.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Magical.
It's magical.
It's it's a monumental year, I suppose, Gary. And
Rebecca, how is your separation anxiety?
I'm okay. The kids have been in daycare since they were really little, so they're used to being away from us for the day, and we're used to having our busy work careers. So I'm okay. I do know I'm going to get teary though, Gary, when I hand her over to the kindergarten teacher on that first day.
Not me. I'm thinking about the daycare expenses that are going back into our wallets. That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah. Isn't that like a father? You know?
It is.
So out of touch with the emotions and just looking at the bank account. So September is it's almost upon us.
I know.
And I still have nightmares, by the way, of returning to school to finish my high school. I dropped out.
Did
Many
you?
people don't know this. I dropped out. I never finished grade 13. And so I have a recurring nightmare every September that I have to go back to high school to finish my grade 13. Otherwise, they're going to take my master's degree away.
Wow. Yeah.
I wonder why you have that reoccurring.
I know. What does that
What does that mean?
Well, I have that same recurring nightmare. It's just because I didn't like going to school. So my nightmare is always about summer's almost over. I have to go back to school. When the CNE starts, I have to reach for my medication. Because
so all of our parents out there, we have children at different developmental stages.
Yeah.
Yourselves, you got a 4-year-old who's entering the system for the first time. That produces some stress and anxiety. We have children who are entering high school for the first time. That produces stress and anxiety. And we have kids who, for the first time, are going away to college and university. So this really marks life transitions in many families. And we want our parents, we want the parents to facilitate our child's life transition, whether it's the 4-year-old, the high school entry, or college entry. We want this to be a smooth transition. We want the parents of the young'uns, that 4-year-old, folks like yourself, Rebecca, to be able to manage your own stress and anxiety such that it doesn't befall the child.
Right.
Because really that is what exacerbates things. Kids look up and they say, well, I don't know what to make of this experience. So they look to have it interpreted to them by watching the parent.
Yeah. And it's interesting you say that, Gary. Sorry to jump in, but the kindergarten teacher, we had a pre-meeting with her, and we've had her in the past because we've got an older one that's, going into grade 3. But she said, okay, moms and dads, for all you new moms and dads that, this is your first child going into kindergarten, it's okay to walk away if they cry.
Yeah.
Right? It's okay.
You're not abandoning them. And the degree to which you actually hang on, you inadvertently perpetuate the upset.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And most of these kids, 30 seconds after the parent has disappeared,
they've forgotten.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're on to the sandbox in the classroom where all the
exciting things they get to do and play with and learn about. Yeah.
And there are similar fears and trepidations associated with entering high school. These kids are a little older. Well, obviously they're older, somewhat wiser. Their fears are going to be around fitting in, looking cool, not being hazed, quite frankly.
Yeah. Does that still happen?
Is that a big problem, Gary?
It is, from time to time, a very big problem, as a matter of fact, in some of our local high schools. And going back a few years, I remember our son had to rescue a boy who was being assaulted in the name of hazing. And,
Awful.
I dealt with that on the lad's behalf with the school and involved the police because it was an assault at that point. It wasn't good fun whatsoever. So we want to let our children know, those entering into grade 9, that behavior, if it's not comfortable for you, it's unacceptable. Do feel free to report it, even though you will feel uncomfortable. If you have an older child who you think may participate in that kind of activity, you better warn them within an inch of their life that if they bring harm, fear, or intimidation to another youth, that is an assault, whether or not they've even touched them.
Mm-hmm.
So we want people to feel safe entering to school. We want them to feel comfortable.
I like what you just said there, Gary. It caught my breath when you said you better warn them within an inch of their life that they should not participate in such activities. Basically,
Absolutely.
I praised that down. That's okay as a parent.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I'm not condoning violence
No.
against a kid or beating them up, but sometimes if we're concerned about the behavior of our child, there's nothing wrong with the stern talking to.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with letting them know here would be the consequences of those actions. Think twice.
Yeah.
And so that's not necessarily a stern talking to, but it's a very direct statement.
It's called parenting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember taking our son to his first day of university. Talk about separation anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
I blubbered like a child.
That's okay.
And, my poor son, he was so embarrassed, so I had to keep my distance. I'm just telling you like it is.
Jamie will be the same way.
When he entered second year, it was like, get the hell out of home. Enough. Right? But this is the first,
because you had your taste of freedom when he was gone for that first year. That's why, Gary.
Through him and his freedom. My wife and I were having sex in every room.
Oh my goodness!
What's that like, Gary? That doesn't happen. I don't have sex in any rooms in my house.
Bragging.
Yes, you do by yourself.
So you figure it out. I think I'm lying. I'm not bragging.
I love Gary.
Oh, my wife just shouted from the kitchen that I was bragging.
I'm sure. At least she didn't hit you with a shoe.
He's a
or
counselor, and I'm going to go talk to him about this stuff.
For our kids entering into university, parents, we do have to cut the umbilicus. They have to be way more independent. You can't be following them to the professor's door.
Right.
They have to start taking responsibility truly for themselves at this point. What I hear from the universities is that they have many parents still treating their children as if they're entering kindergarten. They phone about their grades, about their work.
Oh, yeah.
See,
I have parents who come to me literally telling me that they are doing their sons' and daughters' essays.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Those people need help.
Got to learn to live on their own, to manage their own work.
We all, the group of us here talking this morning, all went through grade 13, or what we called OAC year when I was back in school. I found that was such a great transition year because we were more independent.
Bring it back.
Yeah, I agree. We learned to be a bit more independent. And, your parents couldn't help you the way that they helped you in grade 9 or grade 10.
It prepared you for college and university.
It's really weird in the province of Ontario when we compare Ontario to other provinces like, say, Manitoba. Manitoba's never had grade 13, and we don't hear about, grade 12 to college or university being as great an issue as it still is in Ontario. So we have so many youths here doing what is, referred to as the victory lap to gain that additional maturity, figure themselves out before heading off to college or university. But honestly, we do, our kids have to learn to cope.
Yeah, they do, Gary. We're just about out of time here, but you're going to come back and join us later on this morning and talk about depression as it relates to the Robin Williams story and to a lot of stories out there later on in the program. But for now, throw out your website address so people can check you out.
Well, two things. Website address, www.yoursocialworker.com. The second thing is, I hope I didn't burn an image in your mind of my wife and I having sex.
Well, you kind of did, and I'm going to probably have to do 3 years of therapy just on that alone.
He's
anyway,
envious, Gary.
We got to run. We'll talk to you next hour, Gary. Thanks so much for this.
Bye, guys.
Take care. There's Gary Dierenfeld. He'll be back with us in our second hour of the program. Lots more to come.